Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very exciting APTAT webinar series. Today, we got a little excited. We've got some celebrities in the house, really, is what I'm trying to get at. So we are going to be talking about assistive technology for sports and for recreation. We do have some slides. I'm going to put them in the chat again here. It is a bit.ly link, so it's going to be let me type things first before I try to speak. There we go. So it is a bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/adaptive sports. And that's going to be a capital A and a capital S. And then after that, it's going to be APTAT, all capital letters. So that's APTAT. So adaptive sports, APTAT, and that's also in the chat. All right, let's keep on cruising. So welcome. For those of you who are new to our webinar series, please feel free to type any questions you have in the chat throughout the session. We will be checking to make sure that we see your questions and get to them. However, if you don't like typing in chat and you would prefer to be on the microphone, we just ask that you wait until the end of the session to jump on the microphone when we come to the official section for questions. And the session will be recorded and available through our YouTube channel, and that is youtube.com/APTAT. All right, let me get to our next slide here. And we have some fun, exciting additions today. So in addition to our live captioning, which we always provide, and that is located by looking for the CC button or the captions in your toolbar. If you don't see it, just go to those triple dots where you'll see more, and you should see it in your list. And then also we have Spanish translation available today, provided for us by the Alabama Council for the Developmentally Disabled. And I'm actually going to have one of our interpreters jump on real quick just to make sure that anybody who needs that Spanish translation is able to access it. So take it away.
Buenas tardes, muchas gracias por atender a este evento tan especial. Si desea aprovechar de la interpretación por medio de español, se puede navegar abajo de la pantalla donde se puede ver el icono de un globo, se ve como un mundo y dando clic allí puede elegir español y así aprovechar de la interpretación simultánea en español. De nuevo, se puede dar clic en, es como un icono de el mundo o el globo, se puede ver abajo de la página en la aplicación de Zoom y así puede dar clic en español y escuchar la interpretación en español. Muchas gracias. Okay, thank you so much for that. If you would like to now assign me as an interpreter.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Oh. There we go. Okay, so you should be added on as an interpreter as well. Okay, so thank you all. We're really excited. We're very grateful to the ADDC for providing the service for us. We were really happy to be able to collaborate with them. We'll have future webinars. They will also be providing the service, and we'll make sure to indicate which ones they'll be joining us with the Spanish language translation for our future events. Okay, so who are we? Who has invited you today? So this is the Alabama APTAT program, or as we like to call it, Accessing Potential Through Assistive Technology. Our purpose is to increase knowledge, access, and acquisition of assistive technology. We do that through several different programs, including our short-term device loan program, so you can borrow any of these lovely items that you see behind me in our office for up to 30 days. We have a reutilization program where people can donate their gently used durable medical equipment and people can pick them up. And then once they pick them up, they can just take those home for free. We also have trainings available, such as this webinar, but also you can contact us for more specialized or customized trainings, as well as our technical assistance and resources for financial assistance. And then the big question we always get when people learn about our wonderful program is, who is this available for? Who can utilize this? APTAT is available to anyone in Alabama. So you can be an individual with a disability, you could be a parent or a caregiver, you could be a service provider, you could just be a company or organization that's interested in learning about assistive technology to benefit your employees and your customers, or just somebody that's generally interested and wants to know more about assistive technology. So even though our program is housed under ADRS, you do not have to be enrolled as a consumer. You just have to be here in the state of Alabama. All right. One quick second. I just need to fix our interpretation settings. Let me make sure. Add interpreter. There we go. Oh, that's what happened. I didn't set the language. There we go. Okay. Now we should have that fixed. So our agenda for today, we are going to be talking about adaptive sports and recreation. I want to make sure that we highlight some of the AT that is available through our program, available for loans. And then really the stars of the show, our interview, we're going to be talking about power soccer at Lakeshore, as well as some of the other services and activities that they have there. So we'll be talking with Nakisha Adams, who's over to my right over here, who is a power soccer player for Lakeshore. And we'll also be talking with her coach. And I've forgotten his title because it's on my other notes page. But we'll get to that. So thank you, Rob, for your patience. And then at the end of our interview, we will make sure that we have some time for anybody else's additional questions. So all right, to get started, I found this really nice resource from accessibility.com. This is just a great website in general, but they had a great article that just really, for me, was a nice synopsis of what we're going to be talking about today. So I did make sure to link that full blog article in the slides, but what the quote I pulled here, it says, adaptive sports and other types of adaptive recreation provide health and well-being, reduce social isolation, and improve the overall quality of life for those who participate. And that's really what we're about, right? Like that's one of the big things with assistive technology too, is we want people to improve their quality of life, to be able to participate to the fullest. And I really can't think of a better way to do that than through activities that we enjoy and that excite us and encourage us to do more. So I'm going to go over some of our recent additions here at APTAT, and actually I finished up these slides last night and we still got more inventory in last night or this morning actually. So this isn't even current anymore. We've added stuff already. But this is just a few examples. I didn't go into each particular device. I just tried to keep it in a general categories or types of devices that we have. So some of the things that we have include gripping aids. So these are things that can help you hold on to things. So if you don't have a very strong grip, or if you're not able to wrap your hands around certain objects, that includes two new items that we got. We got some gripping aids for kayaking. So if you are interested in kayaking, we have new gripping aids that can either assist with your wrist or with your hand, or they can be used in combination. So if you see the picture of the gentleman here, he's got both. So he's able to put his hands on the bar, but he is actually using the wrist and the hand aid to keep his grip on the bar. We also have adapted board games and toys. So we have some board games that are braille on the game pieces, or maybe the textures are raised so people can sense better where the lines of the board are. We also have our adapted toys. So we have a lot of switch adapted toys that you just need to push a big button and it'll make the toy go, or remote control car. We have gardening tools. We had a shipment of gardening tools come in, and that's the next image that you see here. So as you can see, instead of the typical grip on the trowel. It's in a different position, so it's a little easier to hold. And then also this additional arm cup support. So again, it's giving you that little extra oomph and leverage and holding on to the trowel. We have exercise equipment. The picture we have here is this like what we call an under desk pedaler. So you just have to use your feet. You don't have to sit on a bike. You just can put your feet through the pedals and pedal. I know some people that would use it not for their feet, but for their arms as a way to get cardio. I had a PT who had injured her knee pretty severely, and she was trying to rest up, but she was also a big fitness person. So she was lacking the cardio. So she was using that peddler as a way to do cardio and using her arms. We also have an exercise flex board, so it helps with stretching, helps put your feet in some better positions and make sure you get a good, safe stretch. Adaptive gaming equipment. Here pictured, we have the Microsoft adaptive controller as well as the Logitech gaming kit. So it comes with all those different types of switches that can be attached to that Microsoft gaming controller. We also have, we just got it last month, the PlayStation 5 adaptive controller. So we're really excited to get that out in people's hands to try out. We also have virtual reality sets. For some people, that's a great way for them to engage in different sporting activities or hobbies because it kind of puts them in those virtual reality settings. And then lastly, because we love pets around here, we have some pet toys. So this is the Wicked Bone, and it's controlled essentially by an app. So if you are unable to exercise your dog by, taking him on lots and lots of walks, or maybe to throw the ball over and over again, that's not something you're able to do. You can program the Wicked Bone to essentially do the running around for you. And then they get to chase it, they get to catch it, all kinds of fun games. Okay, so on to our guest speakers today. We have Nakisha Adams here to my right, and I'm going to move the screen in just a few minutes while I get after I get the introductions done. She is one of our AT program assistants here at APTAT, but some of you probably know her from her power soccer over at Lakeshore. And then we have Coach Rob, or Rob Welty, and my notes have disappeared. Rob, can you tell me your title again? I'm sorry.
That's all right. Recreation and athletic specialist.
Thank you. So recreation athletic specialist. Perfect. So for those of you, oh, I put it on the wrong slide. That's what happened. So for those of you unfamiliar with power soccer, I just wrote down a little synopsis that I could, and I had Nakisha look over it for me today. But for those of you who are not familiar with power soccer, think soccer, but now we're going to change a couple things. So instead of, 11 players, you're going to have 4 players a team. Instead of running around with your feet, you're going to be using a modified powered wheelchair. So think of a powered wheelchair, but the way I described it to Nakisha was there's almost like a roll cage attached to the bottom part where your feet would rest. Instead of a standard regulation size ball, you're looking at a larger 13-inch ball. Instead of a goal or a net, you're looking at 2 posts that are going to signify where that goal is. So as long as that ball goes between those 2 posts. And then a couple of things just to kind of help, because you are looking at, big wheelchair or power chairs and smaller spaces. A couple things with play is you want to make sure that no more than 2 defenders are in that box or in that goal box area. And then the rule of what they call 2-on-1, which is that any defense players, the idea is that they can only be within 30 or 3 meters of the offensive ball player. So trying to make sure everybody has enough space to maneuver. So I think I covered it all, right? All right, cool. And then we are going to be talking a little bit about Lakeshore Foundation. They are based here in Birmingham, Alabama, and we'll be talking more specifically about them. So I didn't want to go into all the details and take Rob's questions away from him. So, all right, let me exit my slides here, and then I'm going to reposition the camera. So for anybody, if like jostling cameras, that's not something you want to look at, I'm going to just ask that you look away for just a quick second while I reposition, because I want to make sure everybody gets to see the important people of this, which is Nakisha and Rob. You don't need to see me for this part. So I'm going to move my camera a little bit more. There we go. And make sure I have my questions. Oops. And I'm going to pin both of you to the screen. All right, so both of you should be on everybody's screen now. I'm going to make my questions a little easier for me to read. All right. Okay, so if you were looking away from the screen, we're all set up and ready to go. Okay, so Rob, we're going to start with you. Can you give us a brief overview of all the services and activities available at Lakeshore? I know that's a big tall task, but
There is quite a lot. We are a rec center for people with physical disabilities and chronic health conditions. We have obviously rec and athletics. We have fitness and aquatics. And within rec and athletics, we have a field house that includes 3 courts and a 200-meter Mondo track. We have 8 tennis courts. Some of the sports we do is obviously power soccer, wheelchair basketball, football, rugby, and tennis. We have swimming, cycling, and we're getting into triathlon. We have pickleball. We have track and field and powerlifting. And we have bocce. With our fitness and aquatics, we have a 6,000 square foot fitness center with strength training, cardio machines, group exercise, and cranking studio. We also have, our aquatic center is indoor that has 2 heated pools. We have a youth and adult programming in aquatics, recreation, and fitness. We have an indoor shooting and archery range. We have youth camps throughout the year. We have a sports science and performance center and a culinary lab. So there's quite a lot. And within that, there's a lot of different classes and things you can do at Lakeshore. We have a climbing wall as well. So there's a lot of different things you can do at Lakeshore.
all right, excellent. And so Nakisha, my next question is to you. We know that you play power soccer. Oops. That back to you. So we know that you play power soccer for Lakeshore. So how long have you been on the team, and how did you find out about it?
My name is Nakisha Adams, and I play power soccer for the Lakeshore Foundation. I have been on the team since 2001. A friend of mine told me about it. I really don't think I had to try out. Just got in a wheelchair and played. I always liked different sports, but because of my disability, the sports that I would like to play, I'm not able to.
Right.
Like I said earlier, a friend told me about it. I really didn't know about adaptive sports until I joined the team. I didn't really give it much thought. I love playing then and now. My process, I talked to the coach and
All right, so you kind of jumped ahead on my next question, but that's okay. So it sounds like a friend told you about it. You hadn't really thought about it before, but once you found it, you were like, this is something I want to do. So, so when you were interested in playing that sport, what was the process for you to join?
my process, I talked to the coach and the players, watched a few practices, and made sure that it's something that I wanted to do. I've been hooked ever since. 20 plus years, I'm still here. When I first started
So
playing,
20
I had to use a
So 20 years is a long time to be playing power soccer. I'm glad it's still something you enjoy. So Rob, it sounds like Nakisha had a really easy time getting in. So if I was somebody interested as a person with a disability, could I just automatically join a team if I wanted to? Are there tryouts or criteria that I'm looking or that you are looking for when new players join?
So there are some minimal qualifications, obviously, a lower limb, depending on the sport, lower limb physical disability, permanent physical disability. There are some instances of a tryout for like our wheelchair football team, but for the most part, there's not a tryout. We definitely can introduce anybody to the different coach for each sport if they're interested. So we definitely want people to come on out and try it out.
Excellent. All right. So I'm already interested as a person with disability. I'm ready to go. Now, I know that there's a monthly membership fee to participate in the various different activities over at Lakeshore. But what are the other costs that a player might need to cover to participate in a sport specifically like power soccer? Like, am I having to pay for the uniforms? Am I paying for equipment?
No, we have chairs available, and really it's just on tournaments paying for your food. So we'll cover we have our own vehicles. We'll cover transportation, entry fee, hotel, stuff like that, jerseys. So it's really just food in that instance, and we have the sports chairs for power soccer.
Okay. And if I'm not able to pay for the membership fee, is there some programs or scholarships available?
Yes, you can talk with membership, and there's definitely scholarships available. And along your last question about equipment, there's also grants out there that you can apply for. Challenged Athletes Foundation or the Kelly Brush Foundation for people with spinal cord injuries for Kelly Brush. So there's definitely opportunities for scholarships both on the membership side and the equipment side.
Great. So really, you just want people playing.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So Nakisha, what was the hardest part for you when you first joined the power team or power soccer team?
When I first started playing, we had to use our own chairs. And back then, the game was still new to everybody. So you had to make a decision, play the game you love or lose your chair to damages. Now we don't have that problem. You have your game chair and your regular chair. Getting play power.
Excellent. So I can only imagine what it was like to play without like the chairs you guys have now. Because if you're just playing in your regular old chair, that sounds scary. It reminds me of when I look at old hockey videos before they like put pads on everyone. Well, I'm glad you have a better chair now that you can play your sport in. So Rob, for the teams, how often do they compete and who are they competing against?
So different teams have different amount of games depending on funding. But I mean, 8 to 10 games, you definitely need to get 8 to qualify for nationals. We're under the United States Power Soccer Association is our governing body. And so there's teams throughout the US and they play their minimum of 8 games. And then you go to nationals, and then there's 4 conferences. And so depending on how you do, it's kind of like soccer you see on TV where there's relegation and promotion. So the top 2 move on to the higher conference, and then the lower 2 go to the lower conference. Or if you're 3 through 7, stay in your same conference into next year.
Okay, great. So, and you're playing with people from around the country, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. So if somebody doesn't live near Birmingham where Lakeshore is located, or at least these specific Lakeshore offices, are there other locations in the state? And if not, does Lakeshore have a way to provide transportation to the Lakeshore facilities?
So we just have one facility, and we don't provide transportation, but if you're like in the Birmingham area, there's like the Max bus. You can talk with Max to get you to and from our facility.
Great. So Nakisha, my next question is for you. You've been playing power soccer for several years now, and we really want to know, how has participating in that adapted sport impacted you?
Getting play power soccer for the Lakeshore Foundation has been an important part of my life. I get to go and see different places and people, and you have a group of people that you build friendships with. Some of us may get to see each other maybe once a year, but when you do see one another, it's a respect for the person and the game. No matter what the disability is, you never know what you are capable of doing if you don't give it a.
There we go. All right. So it sounds like this has really been an opportunity for you to expand your friendships and your networks with other sportsmen. Yeah, excellent. All right. So I have just one big burning question for you both, and then we will turn it over to see if chat has any additional questions. And I have a couple of resources that I kind of dug up too, so I'll go over those too as people get their questions ready. But for both of you, and Rob, we'll start with you first. What is one thing you want people to really remember from the session? So I'm going to throw a lot of resources at everybody, but what's the big thing you want them to take away?
Staying healthy and active. I think it's the first step is to get to your local recreation facility in your area and just get started moving. Enjoy what you're doing and stay at it.
Excellent. All right. And Nakisha, do you have any final words for us?
No matter what the disability is, you never know what you are capable of doing if you don't give it a chance.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to have y'all stay on. I'm going to switch to my slides here and see if anybody has any questions. Let me just pop this over and share my screen. There we go. So if anybody has any questions in chat, you can either pop in on the chat, or if you want to jump on the mic, let's see. Let's see if we have any questions here. I wish across the state of Alabama, there could be centralized places like Lakeshore. Yes. Thank you, Maria. I'm going to click through, if I can. Let's see if, there we go. Nope, that's too far. So while we wait for some other questions from everybody, I just wanted to let you know of a couple other resources that are out there. So of course, I've linked Lakeshore Foundation for Birmingham, and this will take you to their main website. We have a link to Special Olympics for Alabama. So if you're not familiar with the Special Olympics program, it's a little different than what Lakeshore is doing, but definitely something to check out, especially for somebody with an intellectual disability. Red Barn in Birmingham. I did not get to fully explore this website, but my understanding from what I had seen is it looks like they do horseback riding and adaptive horseback riding. So definitely check that out. Alabama Adapted is a program through the University of Alabama, and they do a wheelchair basketball program. And then also Rocket City Adapted Athletics is a wheelchair basketball program that's based in Huntsville. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Hank Poor Foundation. Now we're specifically talking about adapted sports today, but we were also mentioning things like, recreational activities, things like that. So if you need to borrow recreational equipment, things like beach chairs or wheelchairs that you can, more rugged terrain if you like to, go on hikes and trails, or any kind of adapted equipment that maybe when you're out on vacation and that's just a cost that's not going to let you participate in those activities. Hank Poor Foundation does have scholarships for people, so that way when they need to borrow that equipment or try out that equipment or purchase that equipment, they are able to help you out, and you just apply and see if you are one of those lucky people that gets selected for that round of funding. Oh, we've got a question here. I'm going to pop back to our people here for the question here. So it says, could you talk more about the process to check out accessible equipment with you all? Oh, so that's a question for me. So I'm going to turn my screen a little bit so you can see me again. And now you can see both of us. So to check out devices here over at APTAT Alabama, I'm sorry, Alabama.at for all. I'm going to have Ashley put that in the chat for me. So we have a website where you can look to see all of our inventory that's currently available. Like I said, we've just got some more stuff in, so it may not all be in here yet. But when you go to that website, you'll be able to see what's available. You can either check it out or request to check it out through our website. You just create an account and send it. Or if you're like, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing there, you can always email us directly. And I'm going to have Ashley put our APTAT at rehab email in the chat. And you could just email us directly and say, hey, I'm curious about what types of equipment you have. what's available, and then we can help you get started that way. You can check out the equipment for up to 30 days. It is a loan. We don't get to give it to you forever, but it is a loan that you just check out from us. There's no cost, no payment. For the most kind of our biggest thing is you are really responsible to be the person to pick it up. If you are out of the Birmingham area, we can help make some arrangements through our sneaker network to see if we can get it to you in closer proximity, can't talk today anymore. I'm just, it's been a long day, y'all. Sorry. We'll find a closer location through our ADRS locations or other service providers for you. Very sorry about that, Cliff. I hope that was somewhat informative. I'm going to take a sip of water. Oh, good. I'm glad I was helpful. Any other questions, either how to check out equipment or maybe more questions about being involved with Lakeshore? Okay, well, while we do that, I'm going to share my screen. And again, if you want to jump on the mic, feel free to do that as well. We'll also be watching chat. But while we wait for those questions, I'm going to go to our next slide. We do have a feedback survey. We do really appreciate for you all to participate in this survey. It helps us make sure that these are useful sessions for you and it's information that you find beneficial and it's what you want to learn about. So I do have a QR code here, but it's also a link that is to surveymonkey.com/R/ and then all the letters will be uppercase in this next part. It's going to be capital W, the number 5, KMCVM. And you can just click on that link if you've gotten the slides from us already. All right, I'm gonna see if we got any. Oh, we have a few oh, yes. So we did get a few more items that we just received. So if they are not in the inventory yet, just please keep checking back. And also a big thing with this survey that we've given you, let us know what you want. If there's specific sporting equipment or recreational equipment that's interesting to you, let us know. Let's see if we can get it for you here so you can try it out first. We'd much rather you have that opportunity before you have to make big investments and find out it's not what you're looking for. So even if you just want to go on that survey and tell us all the things you are interested in trying out that you want us to look for. All right, so we also want to tell you about our upcoming session. It's going to be in February, and this is creating classroom materials with lesson picks. We're very, very excited. We have guest speaker Beth Poss coming. So she is the creator of lesson picks. If you are unfamiliar with her, she's a phenomenal educator, working in the AT field, just a wealth of knowledge. So I was really excited we were able to have her do this coming session with us. We do have a registration link for you to register through Zoom. And I will say, if you look at that description, she mentions that attendees will be getting a trial. I think it's like a month or a 30-day trial of lesson picks. So if you need communication symbols or classroom visuals, this is a very cheap substitute to some other programs that you might be familiar with that a lot of people have found very effective. So we always like to make sure everybody knows all the resources that are out there. So we're very excited to have Beth with us. So, all right, let's see if we have any other questions. All right, so our last one, of course, is to contact us. Again, let us know your requests. Let us know what you want us to do webinars on. If there's equipment that you need, aptat@rehab.alabama.gov. You can find us through our LinkedIn, our Facebook, and YouTube. Just search for Accessing Potential Through Assistive Technology. And then we have some additional links that you can click through to know more about, again, our inventory, our reuse centers, and then just ADRS in general. I think that is it. So Rob and Nakisha, I want to thank you so much for being here. I hope everybody has gotten really excited about learning about the resources that you all provide, that we all provide as well. And we can get everybody moving and active and enjoying their next favorite hobbies and sports.
Thank you so much.
You got final thought for us?
Thank you.
Thank you, Nakisha. All right, everybody, we'll hang out here for a few more minutes, but thank you again, and we'll see you next month.